Well, the sun is shining. I'm out on a pickup, and it's a freebie, and my windshield is embarrassingly dirty, but we're gonna pick that old Craftsman up, and it's a gimme. I'm at a groomer's that's been taking care of my dogs for years and years and years. But anyway, we're gonna get old Blue situated. This one does not steer anymore. Common problem with these, relatively easy fix. But we're gonna see if we can't put it back together. And this would be one that I would more or less donate to somebody who is in need, so long as it doesn't run me too much money. And I do that often, when I get donated mowers, I typically pay it forward and donate them back. So let's move on up. We're going to go out in front of it and probably going to use the nifty lift to pull it up onto old Blue here. And speaking of old Blue, it's fixed, but that's a story for another time, and we'll get into that story after we get this Craftsman back home. So I'll get the camera set up. You guys can watch me fight getting this thing up in the truck, so stay tuned. Well, the first attempt is going to be to just push it up. If we can't just push it up, we'll grab the nifty lift and winch it up there. Wish me luck. Well, it doesn't always happen that easy, but it's up and in there. Got a Kohler command in it, 15 horsepower overhead valve, 42-inch 6-speed. It's an older model, but it may make somebody a nice little mower. We'll see. Oh yeah, and the chainsaw, it was a throw-in. Let's get it home. I have two spots in this yard where I can unload. One is this little knoll right here. It's just the right length for my ramps. I can ride straight off, and I typically use that area when I have a running mower. But what do I do with the mowers that are not running? Well, my laterals, or drain tiles as they were, I know, poor old Trader. You guys look, there's a dip in my yard right here. I put my back axle in that, and it does the same thing as that knoll back there. I come up, wait for the back tires to drop right there, and I'll hop out here real quick and show you where it puts my tires and how level it puts the tailgate. So right now I'm down in the knoll. You can see the ground. Well, I don't know how well you can see it. The ground comes up quite a bit right here. It's kind of hard to get the topography just right, but I lay the tailgate down. Let me grab a ramp, maybe. I grab a ramp, and it's almost a straight shot, so it works out really, really nice for loading and unloading. So let's get this sucker off of here. The only thing I have to worry about when I'm backing something off here with the deck is the deck rubbing on the ramps and pulling the ramps out from under it. but it's a short fall. Just as easy as that. And I did forget to mention we have another bonus. Jan's such a sweetheart. She's like, well, I'd already bought the battery for it, so I figured I'd give you the battery to go with it. So we will find out. It was made in February of 2015. So we'll see if that battery will come back to life. Looks like a Battery Masters battery, yeah. All right, see you guys in the shop. It's in. Now I gotta go do something for a neighbor, and I'll be right back and we'll get into this. So what do we have? We have a 15 horsepower overhead valve Kohler Command. Good engine. I know I dog on Kohlers sometimes, but they are dependable engines. And what I really like about these engines is they have hydraulic lifters, so there's no adjusting the valves at all. We're just going to see if it starts and runs first, and then we'll address the steering. Because let's get over, pan over here to the steering wheel. There's just a little bit of play, so we'll see what's going on with that. Give the rest of it a quick little once over and empty the full gas tank out. Although it's been sitting for a couple years, it's been sitting indoors, so it's not in too shabby a shape. We'll see how things go. Throttle's working good. Foot brake works. I know the transmission works in at least third gear because I put it in third gear to keep it from moving in the back of the truck. So let me just go through real quick and see if we can't burp a little bit of life into it. I'll stick a battery on there and we'll see what we get. So hang on. Alright, off camera, I've disconnected the gas tank, installed a battery, put a host gas tank on, connected the fuel line to the mechanical fuel pump that this engine has, because the tank is lower than the engine, and we've got our spark tester on there. We're going to see if it'll crank and see if we've got spark all in one fell swoop. So let's look for a spark to jump across there. Nice, good, healthy spark jumping clean across that 1/4+ inch gap. So I say we're good there. Let me drop the spark plug out, check and see what kind of shape it's in, and I'll get the camera moved over to the other side. So hang on. Alright, let's pop the plug out. And these things are so long-winded. Just make quick, easy work of it. Sorry about getting in the way of the camera. The plug really doesn't look all that bad. I'm gonna kill the camera and clean the plug real quick with a torch. No, I'll just leave the camera on. I showed you guys this before. Just burn all that carbon right off of there. And you'll see when I pull the torch away how red hot everything gets. It's just burning off that carbon. That's all you got to do. So if it's a good plug, it's going to come back to life. I'm going to go ahead and throw that heated plug right back in the hole here. Let me get my wrench and pull a tricky. Put that on there. Let's get her back in the hole. There we go. Now we know we've got spark, so the next thing we're going to do is shoot just a tiny little bit of ether into the carburetor and see if we've got a any kind of life at all. See if it's going to pop for us. Alright, do that right now. I know, ether's not healthy for him, but a little shot never hurts here and there. Ready? See if we got anything. If I can get the key turned. That's good, we've got life, right? And it let us know that we need to pull the blower housing off, see what kind of a nest we've got under there. It's blowing all kinds of crap out from under there. So let me go ahead and get the housing off camera. We'll take a look and see what the carnage is there. Stay tuned. Not what I was expecting. It's actually a pleasant surprise. There's not very much in there at all, but what we do have over here is a whole bunch of oil buildup from blow-by and a little bit of clog here and there. So when we do get it started and running, we're only going to run it for a real short period of time. This has an actual hard line, fuel line, that goes all the way around and then attaches to a small piece of hose to attach to the carburetor. So see if the fuel pump is going to prime itself. I'll do that off camera. We're going to see if this thing's going to sit here and run on its own without me having to take the carburetor off and all that. Because remember, this is going to be a donor motor, or donor machine. So the bare minimum amount of work. It'll get an oil change, oil filter, air filter and all that stuff so that it's good and ready to go. But the whole object is to put together, since it was free to me, put together as inexpensively as possible an operational riding mower. So yeah, Zippo does give things away. I give a lot of things away. So it doesn't, things don't always just benefit the shop or me. Let's get to it. I'll see you guys in just a minute after I purge fuel line. To my surprise, one quick little shot of ether and the fuel pump primed and it's running awesome. Let me show you. So we can't beat that, right? I'm going to put the tins back on and I'm just going to throw it right into work. I'm going to take it and I'll just leave this host tank up. A little bit of vapors coming out of the carburetor there. It's vaping. Sorry, I just had to blow that away. Here comes a little bit more. That's interesting. Key is off though, so we don't have a fire in there. Sounds really good. Sounds really, really good. So like I say, I'm going to throw the tins back on. I'll leave the host gas tank on there because I do still have to empty out the gas in the fuel tank. And we'll see if the blades are going to engage. And I know it's not going to steer very well at all because I still have to pay attention to the steering. I'll show you how this steering works down here. It's a little pie gear. Hang on, let me move the microphone so you can hear me better. There. Okay. You got this pie-shaped gear here, and then that gear there. Well, that gear there is just riding up a little bit high. It needs to ride a little bit lower than what it's riding. So we'll pay a little bit of attention to that. It's all metal. And I did want to mention to you guys, this is an AYP made. Craftsman used both MTD and AYP for many, many, many years. even though this is an older model. It is an AYP, American Yard Products, which is a subsidiary of Frigidaire. Interesting, huh? Alright, let me get everything put back together. We'll take it out and take it for a test spin, see what it is going to do. So hang on. Let me see if I can get in here well enough to show you guys what's going on with the steering before we move this thing outside. Alright, for a long time it has been wearing away at those gears, and it's got them wore out pretty good. Now I'm going to try to turn the steering wheel while holding on to the flashlight to show you how much play is in that little pinion gear and its slot. I got a good shot? Yeah. Now watch. See how much that moves? May have to pull this shaft out, rebush that piece so that this slides in there and stays static. Maybe we can get a little bit more life out of that. But for right now, again, we've got the cover on. Let's take it outside, put it through its paces, see if it's going to do anything other than just sit there and run. So hang on. Well, I pushed her out here, tried to put it in gear, did this, did that, and it kept, as soon as I let the clutch off, it'd die. As soon as I try to engage the deck, it'd die. This might be the reason right here. The safety bolt fell out. So we're gonna fix that right now. If I can find a place to clip the camera. Is that gonna work? Yeah, that ought to work okay. Fortunately, the nut was still on the premises. And the spacers are here too, but I'm not going to put the spacers in. I'm just going to run these in, which is essentially just bypassing the whole works there. Just tighten it down. It's just going to spin. Okay, good enough then, I guess. As soon as I sit on it, it should close that switch, hopefully. So we'll see. Let's see if this thing's going to move under its own power. Let me get these tools and little bits and pieces moved out of the way. And I haven't forgotten to tell you guys a story about Old Blue. I'll do that on another video. Let's start her up again. Seat's in awesome shape. And I've got a neighbor coming in, so I'll be right back. Alright gang, there goes the neighbor. He just stopped by to borrow a chainsaw. We're going to fire it up and see if that safety is going to behave now. You think it will? Alright, I think we're in business. So let's reverse, see if we move. If I'm real careful with the steering, I can steer it. I am not in a gear. There we go. Alright, let's see. All I can do is make left turns where it pulls that gear into the pie gear. Alright, let's get up here. It's running really good. Let's put the deck down a little bit, see if it's going to engage. I don't even have any vibration on this thing. I'll take that all day long. So all that works. All I have to do is work on the steering and make sure that we are good to go. pass it along to somebody else. Yeah, we are definitely not turning right. Nothing but left turns here, folks. And back it up. I can turn left just fine and it engages. But I think a bushing in there is going to help out immensely, and that's going to help solve the problem. So that you guys don't have to sit here and listen to this thing grumping anymore, I'm going to shut it off. But I'm calling it a win at this point. We'll see what we can do with the steering. Later.